Podcast World with Shake and Chad Belding back at you. Another episode, another musical episode. It might not all be music, but it's going to be a lot of music, and I mean freaking good music. If y'all would have got to experience what I've gotten to experience the last 48 hours, you'd be what they call on cloud number 9. I think that's what they call it, and I'm not even really sure why they call it cloud number 9. Maybe some of my guests can help me out with that today. Today's episode of This Life Ain't For Everybody is brought to you by the one and only, one of the most iconic brands of all time in the history of not just America, but the world. Jack Daniel's, Lynchburg, Tennessee Sour Mash Whiskey. We've just received our barrel. We're part of the Jack Daniel's Barrel Program. If you need more details on it, check them out at jackdaniels.com and learn about the Single Barrel Program, where you can go in and do a tasting and pick a barrel, and then you will receive every bottle out of that barrel. And you can build on it. You can do it every year. If you got a business, it's a great way to give away awesome gifts to your clients, to your employees. Remember, never allow underage drinking, and always enjoy Jack Daniels responsibly. We're so humbled and proud to have them part of not just our podcast, but our TV shows, our social media efforts, and so many live events like the one that just took place for my 30 second. What can we leave it at, Adam Hood? What can we leave it at? 46 I am. I turned 46.
If you can stay 39, then you're doing good. If you can keep it under 40.
Hanging out with me, Adam, do you feel like I'm over 39 or 40?
Not at all. But see, I am too. You and I are the same age.
Yeah, but we're the same. We roll it.
I feel like we're young spirits, old souls and young spirits.
See, I like that. You guys met Danny.
Right.
My girlfriend.
Yeah.
I can't believe I have a girlfriend.
Good for you.
Ben can't believe it either. He's like, you better not F this one up.
I'm pretty excited, to be honest with you.
She's cool, huh?
She's really damn cool.
But she's telling me the other day how she's younger than I am, but she's saying that she's like a 54-year-old gal. She goes, I'm a 30-year-old young lady and a 50, with this 57-year-old gal soul.
Right.
Because she is an old soul, right? And that's what I love about her. But I think you can stay that way. Today's guest, I just gave him away. Obviously, you've heard Adam Hood here before. We're going to tell you what we just witnessed, like I said, the last 48 hours for my birthday celebration, my brother's girlfriend Nicole's birthday celebration, and my girlfriend Danny's celebration. And with us also is the one and only Ben Ratliff, who he wears too many hats in Nashville. More hats than I have on my rack, and the last time I counted, it was 438 hats I used to cover up my bald head. Baldness is a shame to me. I just can't get used to it. I've been bald since I was 24, and it still surprises the living shit out of me every time I take my hat off or look in the mirror. Whoa! How did that happen?
I just realized you were bald when I walked in. I forgot.
You forgot? See, I wear them hats so much. The reason y'all came out here, obviously we're friends, but I mean, you guys got on a plane and came out for my birthday party to be a part of it and to play it. And what did you think of it, Adam Hood? What did you think of the setting, the environment, the aura, what's a musical name for what that is? Is that like the ambiance? What's a musical term that goes into the setting or the personality of a venue?
Yeah, I guess it would be something to where it's kind of your set and ambiance. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, as far as the whole environment of it, I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, it was a really family. You could tell that everybody was kind of like family around here, that people were comfortable being here, that you make people comfortable being here, that, you guys know how to entertain folks. I mean, we've been here a couple of days, and which is really nice. And I appreciate you letting us do it because, we're kind of camped out at your house. You know what I mean?
I love it.
So, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's something that you seem to enjoy, and that says a lot. And
you feel the same way, Ben? Pretty cool venue?
Dude, it's awesome. I mean, this is what I think the third time I've been out here, and every time it's just a more elaborate experience. It's always great, but like, I mean, you and I could sit around and do nothing anyway and have a blast, but just, I mean, the lighting and the stage over the bar, the pool, like, I mean, it was just like, I mean, my wife's just been freaking out about like pictures that she's seen. And everybody's like, just like, that is so cool. So like, it's as a visual entertainment factor, it's stellar. As a personal experience, it's bar none. It's just great. It's comfortable. It feels like home, and It's a good time.
Adam, you were telling me the other day, and I truly appreciate the words, man. I've been trying to work hard to make it awesome. But Adam said something yesterday when we were on a little R&R in the pool about, like, I've become kind of snooty when it comes to music. He didn't say this. This is where my question lied with Adam yesterday. I've become kind of snooty to where when I hold an event like this, I almost start to develop an attitude against people that don't give the artist their full attention the entire time and listen to the lyrics and listen to the words. You know, you go to a Tortuga or a big jam, and you're going to have people raising hell and raising beers and raising their voices, right? Well, there's a cool song right there. Raising hell, raising their beer, and raising their voices.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like you can't control that part of it. And you educated me yesterday that you almost like it when they're not just stiff bodies or just bodies standing there. You like the aura of stuff, of action going on around you. But as a whole, you also saw that the crowd was 100% into the show.
Yeah.
How did you explain it again?
I don't really remember. I do. I mean, I guess the point is this. You know, I don't feel like that you should be forced to listen to my music. I want you to want to listen to it. You know what I mean? And I guess that's kind of the thing. I mean, here, you know, and granted, I noticed that people weren't just listening to my music. That because you guys sit around and play these songs at the pool and stuff like that. Or, you know, and I see them on your social medias and stuff like that. People recognize these songs. So not only are they listening to it, they're finally putting a face to some of these songs that they've been hearing here at the pool for the past couple of weeks, months. You know.
Yeah. And so many people. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. That's and so that's the cool thing about it. Like that, it's just, you know, you don't have to make anybody do it if you can make your songs good enough to where they'll want to do it. That's the point. So I mean that's kind of why. You know, a lot of those the rooms that are kind of, and I get it. I understand why they do that, just because people want to keep noise down to a minimum. I guess there are folks that don't mind it, but a little bit of buzz don't kill me. You know,
A little bit doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
A lot of people walked up to me during the show and just were like, "There he is," and they were showing me that they went and searched it, Shazammed it, went and downloaded it on their phone to have it. And we've talked a lot over the last year about getting this music out there. And I've seen a huge influx in people wanting real. What was that?
Nothing.
Ben, tell the audience what that was.
It's brought to you by Anheuser-Busch.
Bud Light.
Seltzer.
I just said it's bought by Jack Daniels, and he's sitting over here drinking a Bud Light. Well, we are partners with Bud Light, and those seltzers are good. He calls them cheerleader beers.
That's right.
Cheerleader beers.
Do you feel like a cheerleader when you drink them? You look like a cheerleader.
They do kind of make me a little cheery.
Well, before I go back to my story about getting the music out there, do you recall the story that Ben told in the swimming pool yesterday about his pectoral muscles during a certain phase of his life?
No, I didn't hear about that. Oh, talking about when he was bodybuilding.
My Too Hard to Handle debut.
He walked out to the Black
It's my theme
Crowes,
song.
Too Hard to Handle. How's the music go?
Yeah.
You want me to take my shirt off?
And he walks out bouncing his pecs like that dude in all the Adam Sandler movies, the black guy that's the host of America's Got Talent now. He's always bouncing his pecs up and down. Terry something.
Oh, yeah, Terry Crews.
Yeah, Terry Crews. Getting the music out there, it's happening. Like in my world it is.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what growth you see. Like you made a comment yesterday about it's nice to get out of the regular routine of Texas, where you're going to be coming on Radio Texan someday, and you have a huge audience and following in Georgia and the Southeast. Mm-hmm. I think it's badass that you come out. You played with Miranda out here before, but I think it's awesome to see those people light up. And I can't tell you how many people said, I'm all about the lyric, but the number one thing that I heard about you was your voice.
Yeah.
Everybody kept saying, holy shit, I didn't expect that out of him, wow. And when you hear the studio version of Front Porch Thing, I thought it sounds like Otis Redding. It sounds so bluesy.
Thank you.
And it's amazing that the instrument you were blessed with,
right.
Is it taught? Did you learn it? Did you get educated in coaching or voice classes? Or did it just come from at an early age where you just started honing your skills as a vocalist?
I mean, yeah, I think it's just the Lord gives you gifts, man. I mean, there's no one in my family that can carry a tune in a bucket. I mean, no aunts, no uncles, cousins, nobody. I'm the only one that sings. And so... it just kind of came out of my mouth. Now, granted, I do have a vocal coach, and through 25, 30 years of doing this, you kind of wear your voice out a little bit, you know. And so I try to take it as seriously as I can, and it's really more for preservation than it is for anything else, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, I appreciate you saying that. It's one of the things that I probably I would say I'm the weakest at, but I think a lot of people think that you know, my delivery is good, and so I appreciate that.
You're saying personally, you feel that your weakest part of your musical career is your actual voice?
I don't know. Sometimes I just sing flat, man, and it just drives me nuts. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of things that I would do differently. But there's a lot of things about my guitar playing I do differently. There's better songs I'd write, you know. I'm always going to be critical of myself just because, well, if you don't learn, then you've stopped learning. And, you know, you stop learning, you stop growing, That's decay, you know.
What about you, Ben? You think he has a pretty voice when you hear him, even though he's a good friend and you're his manager?
He looks at me all
No, I got questions, and I was like curious if I can ask Adam questions.
Yeah,
I know it's your podcast. I don't want to take over, but no, I mean, I've been a fan of Adam for years, and I remember the first time I met him at Carnival when I was up there with Brent one night, and he was rehearsing late one night, and you walked in. I don't know if you remember that.
Yep.
And you know, I sat on the porch and smoked cigarettes.
Yeah.
While they were rehearsing, but I've always been a fan, and Adam to me, and Brent has concurred with this too. That, like, I mean, Adam's is a legend in the making, if not already in some people's minds. But my question for you is, what age did you start playing guitar? Number one.
Yeah.
Number two is, what music made you want to play guitar? Like, what did you cut your teeth on when you were grinding out learning how to play and sing?
I was young when I started playing guitar. I mean, I'd say probably maybe 12.
Okay.
I'd say I was the first time my parents gave it a shot, I was considerably younger than that. Like, probably a little bit too young.
Yeah.
6, 7. That's a little, I mean, that's if kids can start learning at that age, but I wasn't ready for it. So 12, going into 7th grade is when I started taking it seriously, and started taking lessons, guitar lessons and stuff. And so I started playing in church, in which, you know, like, if you ask anybody from the state of Alabama where they got started.
What kind of church?
Baptist church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there another kind in Alabama?
Not many of them. I don't know.
Well, in the South, there is a handful of different ones. There's Pentecostal.
That's true.
Which that gets exciting.
Yeah.
There's Baptist and there's Methodist, and that's pretty much the prominent three, right?
Yeah. My daughter goes to a Presbyterian school.
There's Presbyterian
I better
too,
say
yeah.
that. Yeah, that's right.
Are they all branches of Christianity?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the only difference is the level of excitement.
And Presbyterian is the most boring, according to your voice?
They are the most conservative.
Yeah, I'd say, ritual conservative.
To not use for another word, you know, to use another word, but
Which is the most outlandish? Baptists, they're the ones that get after it, right?
I'd say the Episcopal or the Pentecostals are probably.
well, I mean, you remember the podcast I wasn't on, but you did with Michael Waddell, and we were talking about down south they have liquor stores with drive-up windows.
Yeah.
Those are for the Baptist.
Did you say that in there?
Yeah, well, we talked about it.
You talked about it. I remember that.
Yeah.
So you start playing when you're 12 legitimately, and is it because did you have anybody in your family that played the guitar, or was
No.
it based off of your daddy's recorrs?
It was. I mean, I think it was just one of those things where, like, if it was shaped like a guitar, I'd pick it up and play with it until I beat the tar out of it. You know what I mean? I mean, I used to like make guitars when I was a kid. You know, just anything to look like a guitar. It's kind of what I always wanted to do. And so my parents got sick of me using up all their cardboard boxes and decided to just go ahead and buy me one. And I took lessons once, didn't really take, and then 7th grade, we moved into a house behind David Sellers, who was my best friend in high school, and he and I took guitar lessons from the same guy. And so I would go on Tuesday and learn a song, and he would go on Wednesday and learn a song, and then we would teach each other the songs that we learned. So it was kind of double duty, you know. So it was a crash course in guitar from 7th grade until I graduated from high school.
Now, were these songs? Did the teacher tell tell you need to learn these songs, or did you go and say, "Hey, I want to learn this song"?
I had a great guitar teacher. His name was Robert Orr, and he was went to school with my dad, and he taught a guitar class in high school. So I had there was a guitar ensemble in my high school.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And so, but yeah, that was the beauty in what he did. Like he would teach you some fundamentals. Like you would go do some fundamental stuff, but then you would he said just bring in tapes of the songs you want to learn. And I mean, you could bring in anything from the stuff on Van Halen, 1984, Welcome to the Jungle, anything, Creedence. And that was the cool thing about the guitar class. On Fridays, that's what we would do. Like he would spend, there was guitar 1, 2, and 3, and so guitar 3 was more advanced. Well, so all the classes would get together on Friday, and he would say, just bring your tapes in, and we would sit down and learn all kinds of stuff. I learned Looking Out My Back Door and Welcome to the Jungle in the same day. Like I learned the licks off of.
Creedence and GNR in the same day, man. That's a strong day.
So it was really cool. I kind of got I got a lot from learning those little riffs. Like I said, I had a great guitar teacher. And so that started, my mom got me a gig at this place called the Breezeway in Opelika, and I played one Friday and Saturday night a month.
Did you have a momager?
No,
Okay.
I think they were just kind of surprised at my abilities. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really. My dad was a forester. I mean, my mom sold real estate. Like they didn't really plan for a creative person.
What level of guitarist are you, in your opinion? I know you're humble, but be honest with me. Like, is Willie Nelson a 10 when it comes to picking an acoustic guitar? Because when he picks, he seems like he gets after it, but he's got a very distinct sound.
I mean, he's not like the guy's no Phil Keggy or anything like that. But I mean, yeah, he's a very unique guitar player. And but yeah, I always say two things. Number one, to quote Tom Petty, I'm a great rhythm guitar player. And number two, this is my own thing. I'll never be anything other than Adam Hood's guitarist. You know what I mean? Like Adam Hood's not going to find a better guitar player, but that's really the only gig that I'm good for, is just being Adam Hood's guitar player. If that makes, I couldn't go be anybody else's. I could, I guess, but I'm just not into it like that. I mean, there's a lot of, it's the same thing as like, in the outdoor world, like there are details to decoys and things like that there's just a wealth of knowledge out there. And the same thing with guitars, there's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to gear, when it comes to the right guitar, when it comes to what you're playing through, your style, your techniques. And then there's the theory involved. You know what I mean? Like there's all the tech part, and then there's also the musical part of it. And I just, that's not where I devote my time and energy. I devote that focus to songwriting.
So when you say the technical part of it, and you being Adam Hood's guitar player, was it easier for you to play the guitar Friday night and Saturday night, mainly Saturday night, knowing that you had that Cajon player with you, the second one that came in?
Listen, there are times in your life when you just sit back and let it happen and know that it's going to be more entertaining for you than it is for the person, the audience, or the person actually playing the said Cajon. And man, there are also just some people in this world that think they're really good at something, and they may or may not be, but
they play songs like Sublime.
Bands. They play bands that play.
She had no idea
like
what
Sublime.
kind of critical level that she was entering herself into when it came to Sublime. That's a strong.
Yeah, you don't just say we play songs like Sublime. You could say I play songs like Row, Row, Row Your Boat. But like when she started playing, I looked around like, what?
Yeah, and so and that's what I was telling Clay and them. Like, when Leith goes into the second verse of the Doobie Brothers song, I'm like, man, this is it. All right, we've committed to this. Like, he's not stopping till the song's over. Like, you could bail now. I mean, because Leith was in and out of keys, and so like he was, by him being in and out of keys, I completely lost my place. Like, I started playing. I think I was playing different chords, but and that's the beauty. It didn't even matter because we were both paying so much attention to this. I mean, super good Cajon player sitting front and center.
What is a Cajon, Adam?
I don't know what the damn thing.
I'll tell you what it is.
What is it?
It's a daggum box with a hole in the back with some guitar strings taped on the inside that make it rattle. That's all it is. It's just real thin wood with like 6 strings kind of mounted somewhat loosely on the inside of it and a hole on the back to let the sound come out.
That's operate like a snare, basically. Is what those,
But it also, the hole creates bass, and you can hit it at different places and it makes different sounds. But
is the wood on the sides stronger than the wood on the front and back because you sit on them?
Yeah.
You sit on it and you bend
I think
over.
they're different. Yeah.
Structurally, it's got to be pretty stout because you do sit on them. But it's probably 1/8-inch wood.
You can press on the top of it and you can feel that there's, on the side. Like
the
side
sides
that
got to be thinner than the top, but it's got to have some
give.
structure in there. But it's super thin wood on the sides for sure because like where the stuff that they beat on, like if you hit it with your like balled up fist, it has a deeper sound than if you just slap it with your hand. So you can, it's designed to make different sounds, but it's super thin. But people sit on them, so they got to be structurally sound. But you can tap on it and it's pretty loud though. Like the wood is really thin, and if it was thick wood, you wouldn't hear that.
So the talent of a Cajon player is going to be knowing where to hit it on that board, knowing what part of your hand to hit it with. Because sometimes you're playing with the palms and the fatty tissue. Sometimes you're playing with your fingertips. Sometimes you're just doing it with each finger, and you're doing weird stuff like that, like a drummer would do with like a double bounce or a triple bounce off and trying to keep the beat, but something like that.
Right.
But you can do all that on the Cajon, and with the vibrations of the way that those guitar strings are moving on the inside of that wood, that's what's getting the resiliency and the sound out of it, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes people just beat the hell out of them.
Like a bongo.
Yeah, it kind of. I think it's kind of to work like a percussive instrument.
What was she playing it like?
She was beating the hell out of it.
I'm not really sure.
I'm not really sure.
Her own style.
She was definitely beating the hell out of it.
Yeah,
she was good.
She was slapping it. I know. I thought it was about to be like a Motley Crue show until when she had her hands raised. I was like, yes, this is going to happen, and then all hell broke.
Yeah, Tyson sent me a little clip of it today, and I sent it to Paul McDonald. It's like, hey,
Let
man.
me see it. Wait, hey man, what'd you say to Paul?
I told Paul, I said, I heard you had a Cajon player. Was this the same one?
That's pretty good.
What did Paul say?
It was not.
He said it was not.
The response was, ha ha.
Oh, God.
Well, that's a shame. Y'all should get her next time Paul plays.
Oh, God. So the party was great. The crowd was great. The music was great. The food was great. Was there anything that you would change? What about my buddy's speech, Scott Shalene, when he was making fun of throwing a birthday party like that for just 46?
What? Do what?
Were you not out there before you went
may
on?
have missed that. It was funny.
I heard the coach's speech.
He goes, Scott was the first one to speak.
Okay.
He's like, me and Chad and I are the same age, and my birthday was just a couple weeks ago, and it was me and my wife and my 2 kids, and we had dinner like that. And he's like, it wasn't anything like this. It's like, but now that I know it's a thing to throw birthdays like this, but it's not a big one, then I might start in on that. But his whole speech was 15 minutes of just razzing me for having a birthday party to turn 46.
Yeah, your 46th birthday turned into the roast of Chad Belding for a minute.
Yeah, I think rightfully so, though. That's what I think. I know that was what Ben was looking at. Ben was looking forward to. You just getting up there and getting sizzled a time or two.
Like my college coach telling everybody that he called me the biggest effing recruiting mistake that he ever made.
I wish I could say I paid him for that, but no, he did that on his own. Like that was payworthy.
He's told that story so many times, speaking engagements for me. He's awesome, ain't he?
Yeah, he's amazing.
77 years old up there just cutting up.
He was really cool.
Firing
really
on
nice
extra
guy.
cylinders.
He was badass. Fred Dallimore, coach. We call him coach. So the big news, though, is you just got done at Capricorn Studios, and you recorded this new album that we touched on in our last podcast, but it's getting closer now. You guys have narrowed it down to the songs you're going to put on it. Mm-hmm. There's one song on there called The Harder Stuff that we've heard on the podcast. I think today we kind of just talk about some of the lyrics, some of the songs, some of the the way we produced them. I was there in spirit.
That's right.
I was there in spirit. But is it different than Adam Hood albums in the past? Is it different than the albums because of the lyrics more out front like Brent's new album? Is it more geared? Is it more upbeat than most albums you've done? Why is it different, if it is, and what can the fans expect?
I think that as far, I don't think I've ever taken it any approach to it. No two records are the same with mine. You know what I mean? Like there hasn't been any consistency in anything I've done as far as the recording process goes, and I think that's cool. And so with this record, there were a lot of things that were different. Number one, this is the first time I've recorded out of Nashville. Number two, and so that made things different. This is also the first time that we kind of went in with a band, and as opposed to session players or just the studio guys like Charlie and Britt and Richard are a band, and so I went and recorded a record with a band. So that was cool. And so you can hear a lot of their stuff in the record, which is awesome. It was what we intended. And I had to trust Brent with a lot of things. I had to, there was a time on every song when he said, "Trust me, sing it like this." And I would. And so, I think I've gone into the studio with someone that knows what they want to hear from me and has done their best to produce it, and I think you did. I guess we'll find out, but I know that he had intention on what he's always wanted to hear me make as far as records go, and so I think we made it.
So when you say that Brent Cobb produces the record, what does a producer do on record? Does he actually say, he might go through your library like he did, he picks the songs, you don't have a say in it, or do you? Or do you kind of give that to him because you think he has this vision, and he had this project vision before you guys even started when he took on the responsibility and label of being the record producer?
Yeah, I think that there was a specific sound that he wanted. That was the goal. And I normally have a lot of say so, and I had say so in this. We sat down March or so and already started looking. Brent and I sat down and started looking for songs before I knew Brent was going to produce the record. And that
was before I even came into the picture.
That's
too.
right. Yeah, before Ben was even managing me. So there was a lot that I had say so wise, and and there were things that I can always speak my mind. If there's a time when I feel convicted enough about something to say, man, I just really honestly don't think we ought to play it like that. I'm allowed to speak up, but I'm also if I didn't want Brent's expertise in this, I wouldn't have asked him to come produce the record. I had intentions for him the same way he has intentions for my records. You know what I mean? Like I knew that he has an ear for what he wants to hear from me the same way that I do. But I guess that didn't answer your question.
No, it does, because Brent made a comment to me one time about another one of our friends that put out an album the last 3 years, and he said he heard it, and that although he enjoyed it, he said, that ain't him. He needs to let me produce his record because I can pull out of him what he expects out of him. Almost like Brent has he's saying that he has an ear or a vision for these artists, and he might have a relationship with them, and he kind of knows something that they might not necessarily know about themselves. Like Ben already said, he made a comment at one time, or you made a comment, Adam, that Brent said, "You're a legend." Somebody said that.
Yeah.
Who said it? You?
Yeah.
Brent said that you were a legend already and going to become a legend. So maybe he's sitting there going, I have a vision for this.
Right.
And I'm going to be able to pull out of Adam Hood what I see that legendary status being.
Right.
Where does that leave the end goal? What is the end goal? We've touched on this. When Miranda Lambert puts out a record, it goes to probably maybe 3 to 4 of those cuts are going to become what they call singles, and those are going to go to radio. Those are going to go to radio to promote her tour. They're going to go to promote her merch. They're going to go get people listening to Miranda's new music, and it's going to either become a number one, making her publishing more money, making the songwriters money. What is the end goal now with now all this new charisma, this new, Ben, you can answer this too, all this momentum going on? Brent Cobb he's on fire right now.
Right.
What is the end goal now for an Adam Hood project? Because it's time that the freaking world hears Adam Hood. And is that the goal now? Or is it just, hey, we're just going to stay the course and this is a new direction and a new producer?
I'll let you take this.
So my goal for Adam as his friend and his manager, is like he's been kicking ass, doing what he's doing, making a living for so many years. And with this new record, the goal is to expand that nationally, internationally, and just let the world hear who Adam Hood is and how badass he is. You know, like it's and between the clout of Brent Cobb and Blackberry Smoke and Capricorn and, you know, everything that went into putting this record together, and is get him, like, put him out on tour with other artists as direct support and do a national tour and not play headlining shows like he's been doing before. Like, and he's been killing it. He's great. He's killing it. Everybody in Texas, I mean, they love him. They know who he is. But people in Vermont, people in, Spokane, Washington, they might not know who Adam Hood is yet right now. So, like, my goal for him is to get him out there to let those people know who he is and just build his fan base and just grow it organically and let the music do the talking and just watch it explode.
Well, and that's, I think that you're right. And the thing is, there's a certain amount of stay in the course that's necessary, because we've worked long enough in certain markets and certain places to where, that's where I can pay the mortgage. And if a week in Texas affords me the ability to go to LA for a week, or to go up the West Coast, which is something I don't think I've done in 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I have people that used to come to shows. I have people that I hear from on social media that would come, and so, a week in Alabama doing some shows would afford me the opportunity to go to North Carolina for a day or two. You know what I mean? And just play new markets and try new places out. I mean, I have, Chicago is a place that I've been to regularly, but not quite enough, And so there's things like that. And we need to do those things. There's venues that I can go into that I do well in. There are places that we need some help, as far as, like, I need to go in and open for Travis Tritt. I need to go in and open for Brent in Memphis. I need to go, you know what I mean? Like, these are rooms that again, all this is theoretical, but there's parts of that that are stay in the course. I think the music, like you said, the music's going to have to do the talking. It always does. I mean, the best I can do is to go in there and deliver my songs the best way I can when I get there. But, the music has to kind of precede me a little bit to where we make some stuff that's interesting to people. So
when Jamie Johnson came out with that Lonesome Song, he did that album on his own, and then went and kind of not sold it, but the record labels heard it and they wanted it, and it was almost become like maybe a bidding war per se to get it, because it was so solid. Can that happen with an Adam Hood record that comes out and now it's considered independent, and then all of a sudden BMG or Columbia or Sony or Big Machine, they hear it and they say, we want that album? Is that a potential if that the album could go that way too? I
mean, I'd like to see that happen, to be honest with you. I mean, I'll tell you this. I've done this long enough and independently by myself and kind of handling things on my own long enough to where if that doesn't happen, we know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, but there's a lot of conveniences that you have setting up with a record label. There's a lot of stuff that's in-house. Publicity's in-house. Promotion's in-house. Distribution's in-house. Just career advice, is in-house. Association with other artists that you can go share a bill with or open for, or have them open for you. Whatever, there's Spotify playlists. There's all those kind of things that record labels kind of have set up. So they are useful. But in having those things, you give up ownership. And the ownership has been the thing that was, number one, was hard for me to get, and number two, I have it on a few things, and it's hard to turn loose of. You know what I mean? So we don't know where we are with that right now. I mean, the record's done. We've tracked it, waiting to get the mixes back, and as soon as that's done, we'll kind of take it and go pepper it around town and see if anybody's interested. I'd honestly, I'd love for people to be interested. I really would. I'd love to see I'd love to see what someone has to offer, you know. I mean, because that's the thing, you know. And this is going to sound arrogant, but I'm being honest. You know, I've done this long enough to where, damn it, somebody ought to be interested. You know, I mean, this is.
I agree.
I mean, this is what I've always done. There are people that are pretty well renowned that speak well of what I do, and I'm really proud of that.
Give me one.
I mean, Miranda Lambert's one of them.
What does she say?
She's the reason why I had a job in Nashville. I mean, she said, I think you're good enough to where you should come up here. You know, I mean, she got me the job. And Brent, I mean, he thinks well enough of me to produce my records, you know.
Can Miranda go to her label and say, hey, I want to get a meeting with this guy? Would she do something like that?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. And that's the thing, like, you know, with her, I don't know. Well, she did that with a publishing company. I mean, like, that's how I signed with Carnival.
Well, to me, it's the country music industry is not what you know or how good you are. It's who you know.
I mean, it really is.
It's got to
really
be.
is,
Like,
yeah.
the world, we already know that you're freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
So somebody that's got the clout can be like, hey, get a meeting with this cat and just let him do a round with him. Let him do five songs for you, and then let them make up the mind.
And it's not just Miranda. I mean, you know, I know Combs, I know Riley, I know, you know, all those guys too. I know younger guys, older guys. You know, I've done this long enough, and am blessed and thankful for the gifts God's given me, and have tried to be a good steward of those gifts enough to where, you know, I've made some friends, and I was at a party a couple of weeks ago, just playing a buddy of mine's birthday party, and that's what he said. He said, "Dude, there's gonna come a time when you're just gonna have to start cashing in some favors." But I don't know.
But you do, because Travis Tritt is one of the best of all time, in my opinion.
Totally, me too.
If you go back to what he was doing in the early 90s to the mid and late 90s, and what he still does on I don't even know how many sold out shows a year now. It's got to be in the hundreds, though.
Yeah.
The dude is one of the best. How many cuts you have on his new record?
3.
Well, that's enough right there to know that
so
you got
too.
it.
Yeah.
Travis Tritt ain't no dummy.
I know.
mean,
and the man hadn't made a record in 13 years, and the record that he comes out of the gate with is one that we got 3 songs on. You know.
You got 3. Brent has 1, or Brent has 2.
No, Brent's got 3 too.
Yeah.
Brent's got
They
3
got 2 together, and they have 1
each.
individual with
Yeah.
with Travis.
Correct.
Wow, how cool is that?
It doesn't
he's a
get
legend.
any cooler.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
It does not suck.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Totally. I mean,
he's taken Daryl songs to #1, and Daryl's a legend.
Right.
Daryl wrote "Great Day to Be Alive," and one other one. I mean,
I got rice cooking.
I'm pretty sure
a classic.
Travis knows how to pick songs.
right. That's right.
He's not doing you a favor by picking a shitty song. And he's definitely not doing himself a favor.
Well, and right now the guy doesn't owe me anything. You know, I mean, and he never would. But like, nobody's paying this guy to cut my songs. I mean, nobody's paying him to write with us.
Do you know any of them by heart that he's going to cut?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to sing one?
I mean, is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you allowed to?
Do
Is this like what Adam, like if Travis Tritt hears you singing a song that hasn't been released yet, could you get in? I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
I mean, I've been playing.
Travis listens to this podcast religiously.
I mean, I've been playing this song live. I mean, and hell, he wrote it, so he can play it. But yeah, so.
Yeah? All right, we'll do this. All right, here's one that I wrote on Travis's record. This is the one that just the two of us wrote. There ain't one objection that I haven't lost. Makes me just want to pack up and get the hell out of Dodge. But I stand here truthful with a heart that's in pain. I'm just trying to stay dry while I'm standing in the rain. She be forgiven if she only knew it's this hard to tread water wearing concrete shoes. calls up her best friend. She cries on the phone. Now I feel like a stranger in this house we call home. I beg her to listen, and she storms out the room. These clouds won't be clearing here anytime soon, and it all goes rotten, everything that I took. And it won't be forgotten that I've hurt her this much. Will I ever live down angry words that I've said? Lord, I can't help the feeling I'd be better off dead. Walk past the bedroom, the first door down the hall, where my daughter lies sleeping, unaware of it all. And Lord, I feel grateful that she's too young to see troubles and turmoil between her mama and me. So I lean over and I kiss her head. Just then it hits me, I'm not better off dead.
That is so Travis Tritt.
Right?
So good.
Right?
Like, so Travis Tritt. That's 90s Travis Tritt.
Yeah, man. I mean,
That's freaking killer.
Thanks, dude.
I got a question.
Ask it.
Give me what the progression is of the line. How does it come about? Like, what is the discussion of the concrete boots and tread and water line? I'm trying to figure it out in my interpretation, Hood, because I always like to tell you what mine was and what yours is when you wrote it.
It's this hard to tread water wearing concrete shoes.
Yeah, like, is that saying that you know you're dying because the way you're treating this person and you're going to sink to the bottom of the lake?
Yeah.
And you can't, like, I get that people have committed suicide, that Mafia was known for concrete boots, and
Right.
that was like a saying, but what does it mean, like, the way that you guys wrote it? Like, you know you're dying because of the way you're treating this girl?
Yeah, I think, well, it's not so much that. I think it's just the whole, you keeping your head above water. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was more of an analogy, more of it's hard to keep my head above water.
So is he not just treating his old lady like crap, but he's also feels like he's failing as the provider of the family?
I think that's more it. I think this is one of those things to where this person came out of a pretty heated argument knowing he can't win. And that's because, I mean, the first couple of lines, that's the thing that makes me, when I hear those lines or when I sing those lines, the thoughts that I remember of the times when, with my wife, I got a great wife. She's a really strong-willed lady, though, you know what I mean? And so sometimes she's just right, and in spite of how badly I want her to not be right, she's right, and it drives me nuts, and so that's the thing. I mean, just sort of, I don't know, this guy kind of keeps screwing up, I think.
So sometimes I've heard songwriters say that they go into the room with an idea. Are these songs with Travis ideas before the session happens, or are they raw from the get-go?
Travis, okay, with this, and I hope it's okay to tell the story. I mean, man, the guy pretty much had on his phone a voice recording, and it was him just singing these lines into his phone. And it was like the first verse, the last verse, and the chorus. I mean, like, he kind of had the whole, and it's another one of those scenarios. It was like, man, you kind of wrote this, but yeah, gladly. But, you know, there were a few things that we kind of patched up together, and I participated in the second verse more than anything. But yeah, I mean, Travis had the bones of that tune when we went in.
Do you get shaken knowing that you're sitting by a guy that literally was best friends almost with Waylon Jennings? I mean, he tells stories about recording with Waylon and the duets he did with him, being on the Opry stage with Waylon and Steve Wariner, and like, look, I remember the videos of like Travis looking down the line and kind of like being in awe, like, holy shit, like, is this really happening? I'm with Hosh right now. Like, do you get shaken up a little bit knowing what that guy's accomplished, and now he's putting his trust into this kid that was like, literally, you grew up on Travis Tritt songs? Do you get weirded out or intimidated at all?
This is a scenario where I did not get intimidated, because the reason why was, dude, I was made to do what I did with Travis. I mean, the guy is, you know, and I've said this before in just conversations and I think interviews, like, I knew who Bob Seger was, but I didn't play Bob Seger songs until I heard Travis Tritt do Night Moves. I knew who Steve Earle was, but I didn't learn anything about Steve Earle until I heard Travis Tritt play Copperhead Road. And this was 17-year-old me. This was the years that I was.
That's so cool.
And so the guy really influenced my career. And not only that, like, I borrowed so much from his style that, like I said, I mean, you know, with this scenario, I was as prepared as I've ever been to write with anybody. And, you know, Brent was, I mean, you know, he was like, I don't know if I have time to do it. And I did everything but push him up against the wall and say, listen, damn it, you're going to do me a damn solid right now. And we're going to go write with Travis Tritt.
Wait, Brent Cobb was trying to make an excuse not to write with Travis Tritt?
I just think he was a little bit more apprehensive than I was. You know what I mean? I was raring to go. I mean, really, no joke. I mean, 45 from 17 to 45 years old. This is the record I've been meaning to do. I mean, I was groomed.
It's so funny. I hear you say things like you just did about Copperhead Road or Night Moves, because when I hear him do Take It Easy, like, it blows the Eagles out of the water the way they did it. I'm not saying that I'm not a big Eagles fan, but I'm not. I just never have been. But when he does Take It Easy, and I'm not saying anything bad about the Eagles, so please nobody come down on me and tell me how great Glenn Frey and Hanley and all are.
I'm looking at you right now because I'm that guy.
Like you're mad at me for not being a Eagles fan?
I think they're the best American rock and roll band in the history of rock and roll.
You meant Guns N' Roses, but I'll let that one.
There you go.
But
they were the first super group.
Are they badass, the Eagles?
I think they're pretty great, yeah.
Okay, so it shows you that I'm an idiot when it comes to music, and I shouldn't even be talking to you.
I kind of have my opinions on the Eagles too. So,
but I've never. Okay, let me put it in these terms. When Hotel California comes on, I get the EBGBs, because maybe it was overplayed, maybe it's not my favorite song in the world that became so big. But Take It Easy by Travis Tritt is a freaking badass song.
Yeah.
Standing on a corner in Winslow. I mean, the dude just sounds like he was made to sing that song.
I mean, just that's the thing. I mean, kind of the same thing. He was, you know, you can tell that he's a product of his influence too.
He's unofficially the guy that got the Eagles back together in the 90s.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Really?
Yeah.
Like when and
they should have stayed broken up.
And I've had this conversation. I had the pleasure, and Adam wasn't nervous going in to write with Travis. I spent a week with him in the office when he was writing, and I was a schoolgirl at a Bieber concert with Travis Tritt. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is the dude.
I would be too.
And I mean, the dude, like, so, I mean, I'm a huge Eagles fan. Like, I mean, I think they're the best harmony American rock and roll band on the planet. And Travis, basically, they hated each other and they busted up. And until the Common Thread record came out and Travis went to do the music video for Take It Easy and had the idea of having the Eagles be in the music video, that was the first time they actually got back in the room together in 14 years, maybe?
Oh, is that right?
Something like that.
And that was in the 90s.
That was like in 93 or 94. And then the Hell Freezes Over tour started in like 94, I think. So, like, it was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back that made them all go, all right, we'll give it a shot. And so I give Travis credit for getting the Eagles back together. A lot of other people do too. I don't know
hold it against him.
if the industry does. I'm sure management and other people will want to take credit for that. But Travis to me was a legend. He is a legend, and he is the dude that got the Eagles back together, which was another one of my favorite bands. So I went into that week with him writing at the office as nervous as I've ever been in my professional career.
Yeah. Well, in a situation like that with you, Ben, I mean, you sort of have to, and I guess we all kind of have to deliver, but your delivery is based on the performance of others,
Yeah, I didn't have to do nothing but make sure everybody else showed up.
Yeah, but there you go. But I mean, making people show up with
Like Brent Cobb, it sounds like.
it really wasn't that bad. I hope I don't want to.
Oh no, it's already recorded. It's already recorded.
I know.
Buddy.
Hey, I talked shit already.
I'm going to change it to say that you threw him up against the wall.
By the throat.
By the
I
throat.
basically threw him up against the wall.
Let's talk about him for a second again, Adam.
Okay.
You said some things yesterday about the new album.
His?
Yeah, I've seen the expression on your face sometimes when you do say what you're saying about some of the cuts on there. Why is a simple song like Keep 'Em on Their Toes, when I hear it, it just sounds so simple, the way that he sings it. It just sounds almost like, not cliche, but just like, if you're going to go, make them look right. It's just like, why are we all so enamored with him when he just keeps getting better, in my opinion, like you do, but you're one of his best friends.
Right.
Why does that album make you say the words that you're saying about it? Because you've already said many times to me personally, like, this is a good record. Are you saying that just because you want him to go do you another big favor someday and you don't want to hear him talking shit about him? Or is he really this good? And then, Ben, I want you to answer the same deal.
I think very much so, yeah. I think he's really that good. And I've really always thought that. I mean, I was one of the first people, and I think I'm a broken record with this stuff, but I was one of the first guys he wrote with. And I mean, this was, when we wrote Go Outside and Dance, which was the first song we ever wrote, and like it got cut by the Eli Young Band, and so when we sat down to write it, I knew he was different, and I mean, and that's the strange thing about it. Like, for somebody that's real, I mean, like, the guy's really innovative when it comes to his approach to country music, and there's nothing intentional about it. Like, this is not contrived. This is not, he's not creating this persona. This is really him, just grew his hair out a little bit longer, and so, and that's really it. But yeah, I think I don't know what it is. I think there's an honesty and an integrity to it. I think that's one thing. I think it's way stripped down, which is another thing, and you can really hear clearly how he sings, and I think he's a great singer.
Like, great singer as in, you started this podcast by saying that might be one of your weaker points when you hear yourself sing flat. Just honestly, I still want you to answer this, Ben. But a great singer is there different levels of greatness in vocalization? And like, Chris Stapleton is like at the ultimate of, Conway Twitty's at the ultimate, Jamie Johnson's at the ultimate. Like, they got those big voices. Yeah. Brent doesn't have that big voice. What makes him a great singer?
He does in the studio. I think, and he does on stage too. But I think his voice is it's the delivery, man. It's how easily you can get your point across, and say it, well every time. You know what I mean? And that's the delivery, just the things that are supposed to come out easily.
This may be a little dated of a statement, but I mean, I think, and I've always thought Brent, I've known Brent for 10 years probably, if not longer. It's been, I can't even remember now how long I met him. I felt like I've always known him, but as a songwriter, Brent is like the Bob Ross of songwriting.
He just puts a tree where he wants it.
I mean, like, it's just like, he makes things seem so simple and so perfect and so just meant to be.
It should have been there.
Yes.
That's what was intended.
Like, he writes songs, and the songs that he records, like, this isn't even the songs that he writes and that as a songwriter, but the songs that he records, it always just blows my mind. I'm like, Well, that's what we've all been waiting for. You know, like it's just like it's stuff that's just supposed to be there. And
Wait,
and I
what
don't
is
know
that-
if that's
that-
weird. I mean, I don't know.
No, that's cool. I
That
hear you.
statement that you just made about the songs that he records as opposed to the ones he writes that he doesn't record. I don't know if this is what you mean by that, and I don't think it is. I might.
Well, this is the way I separate him as an artist and a songwriter.
But where I'm thinking, and Adam can say if he agrees with this or not, because you're in the mix in the business.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been one cut by Brent Cobb that I don't like his version better.
Yeah.
If that makes
absolutely.
sense.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where when he sings his songs,
Yes.
he knows how to deliver them. Like when I heard. Like Luke does a good job on Tailgate Blues.
Yeah.
I think it's the best Luke Bryan song there was.
I agree with you on that.
But when Brett sings, and you can find it on YouTube, when Cobb does it, I'm just like, oh gosh. Now the new Luke Combs song, 6 Feet Away, that song, when Brent sings it on the work tape, I'm just blown away by it.
And it's the same way with the new Keith Urban cut, Forever, that just came out in September. Same thing with the new Luke Bryan's cut.
Where are we going?
Yeah, where are we going? Like Keith and Luke both did it great. Don't get me wrong; they're both great, and I y'all should single them if you're listening. Keith Urban and Luke Bryan, make it a single. But at the same time, like to go hear Brent's demo, you could hear it on Brent's record. Like I mean, he owns it and like he sings it so well.
Did they not make that a single already? I thought Keith Urban released it as a single. He did not.
No,
I think I heard it today on the radio.
I mean, I'm good. Thank you.
I know he played it on. Thank you, buddy. He played it on Seth Meyers a couple weeks ago, which ironically enough was like literally a week after Luke Combs played 6 Feet Apart on Seth Meyers. So, and Brent didn't even know it until I told him. I was like, "Hey, buddy, you just had 2 weeks. You had 2 songs played on Seth Meyers on late night TV." And he goes, "What?"
I don't got TV down here in Georgia. I never turn one on.
What is NBC?
NBC.
Okay, so I want to get to Adam's songs, but we're all in agreement that this mixture of Adam Hood and Brent Cobb is magic. It's so magic to where when you hear just a simple song like A Girl That Quit Loving You or Made Out With Your Best Friend or you tried to, that song that you guys wrote, how many years ago was that?
Which one?
She Don't Love Me No More. Did I not give it away by saying she made out with my best friend and all that?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, no.
No, I'm just trying. I know that you've written a lot of songs because your library. If anybody's listening out there, which I know you are based on the numbers we're seeing, do yourself a favor and go out and listen to the entire Adam Hood library. And I'm not talking skip a song. I'm talking break down the lyrics and take 3 and listen to those 3 for a week and then do 3 the next week and just do yourself a favor and get it ingrained in you, because I'm telling you, the way these words, the ones you've written with Brent and other guys, you've written with some really staunch writers. Do yourselves a favor and listen to the entire library. And we forget to do that. At least I've been guilty a lot. And I told you this yesterday, Adam. A lot of the times in my life, I get on a kick of the songs I want to be hearing.
Yeah.
I've done it with Chris Knight so much to where it was always Ain't Easy Being Me and Framed and Down the River, to where, man, I'm like, holy shit, I'm rediscovering stuff that's been out for 15 years.
Right.
Like that's,
Right.
Do yourself a favor and listen to the entire Adam Hood library. And that's what I've really been doing, because it's like, good night. Like it's like every song you sang the other night, I'm like, okay, it's not complete yet. All the good ones you did, I was still upset at the end of it, right? That's the sign of a good musician and a good deliverer, because you don't know how many people George Strait pisses off. 55,000 people at the Alamo Dome or somewhere that go there to hear the freaking, the check yes or no, and he plays the other freaking 50 hits that he's got.
Exactly.
And they get pissed off, right?
They do, yeah.
And that's
totally.
kind of probably why Eric Church did that 2-night deal last year, where he did 2 nights at every location.
Yeah.
Because people want to hear the shit. A lot of people were buying tickets to both nights, but we are in agreement. There is something special going on in this Adam Hood, Brent Cobb. We can keep naming them. The ones that you can find on the Foul Life playlist, they're there. We support them. We did not discover them, okay? We are just trying to do our part in getting the music out on our platforms, because I've always said the world deserves to hear it. So this new album, do you like talking about the foundation of a song and where that song came from? because this is the least talked about thing in music, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Every time, and I hate to just keep beating a dead horse with Axl Rose or Guns N' Roses, but every time you hear an interview with them, it's always about the trouble they got in, or the riots, or Axl being an a-hole, or their girls and the sex and the drugs and the 90s and the Sunset Strip. Very rarely do you sit down and hear somebody go, and I would love to talk with Axl and Slash about writing Locomotive, or writing Breakdown, or writing Coma, or writing Brownstone on heroin, or calling it Mr. Brownstone. Like, wouldn't that be cool to hear how they came up with that shit? That's what I want to know. So do you enjoy talking about the foundation of a song? Or are you more so in just the promotion of it and not how you got there?
No, I think the creation of the song is very important. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if people had asked those guys more questions about their songs, their career might have lasted a little bit longer. You know what I mean? And granted, they still play around and stuff, but I mean, had all those superficial things not taken precedence in their career, they may have stayed together a little bit longer, And so, I mean, for me, the songs are more important than me. I consider myself sort of a vessel. There's something cosmic that happens that gives me ideas. There's certain, it's a God thing to me, but there's things just happen. I just try to keep myself open to being creative.
Okay. Well, then with that being said, let's talk about a couple of these.
Okay. You want to go through a track list of the new record?
Well, I would like to. Here's what I would like to do is, I think there's so much good shit in here that I don't think that I even have the brain to digest it and analyze it. I'm thinking that we do. How many songs are on the new album?
I think there's 10.
10.
I think that we do a 3 to 4 part podcast series.
Okay.
Where we take 2 to 3 at a time, and we dedicate it leading up to the launch, where we just talk about, it might not be the launch of the record, but we just talk about each song and where it sits on the record. We could go in order if y'all want, but I want.
Well, we don't know. We don't necessarily know the order yet.
Then that's even better.
Yeah.
But I want to learn where these songs come from in the minds of these songwriters. I assume that you're on every track, Adam Hood.
As far as writing goes,
yes.
Yeah.
So you were did you write any of these on your own?
I don't think that there's any of these that I have.
Have you ever written a song and completed a song on your own that you released?
Yeah, I usually have one on every album.
Give me one that I know, please.
The Shape of Things.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote that one by myself. I wrote on Welcome to the Big World. I wrote the song. So we're waking up early. Don't that sound like love?
Yeah.
On Somewhere in Between, I can't remember which one it was. There was one I wrote. Maybe I wrote 2 on that one by myself.
I should know this too, and I don't.
I don't know either. I'll look that up.
That sounds like a good problem to have.
Yeah.
That many good songs, and you can't remember which ones you wrote by yourself.
Yeah.
So you want me to?
I know exactly. After every flock of ducks that comes in, I know exactly which ones I killed, and it's almost all of them. I claim them all.
Do you know how many?
You got to beat in this.
Do you know how many dud bullets you give to your guests when you send them out on a coyote hunt in the morning?
We're not even bringing this up. This is not the right time for that conversation. I'm surprised I'm on this podcast. I'm so irritated with you, Ben.
All right. Well, hey.
It took everything I had in my power to not drive here. I mean, I was trying not to come back out to the studio. I was like, when I see him, I'm going to shake him. He's blaming the gun, and now he's blaming the ammo. It's going to be the boots walking in that you stubbed your toe.
Y'all messed us up.
Those were mine.
Okay.
Everything that didn't work was yours.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I tell you what, you want to approach this. You want to just throw out 3 titles. And let him do that randomly and explain the songs.
I just want to learn a little bit in a nutshell. It doesn't have to be 20 minutes of it, but I really want to know where the song comes from. I want to leave the harder stuff for the last episode.
Okay.
And do you have any idea yet what the name of the album is? And does Brent Cobb decide that too as the producer?
No, but he does have a say-so in it.
Does he have a say-so in the cover art as well?
No.
Nah. Yeah. We don't know who has a say in that yet.
Yeah,
I want to say thank you to Brent Cobb nationally real quick for my birthday present. Was that cool to share or what?
Yeah.
He said, awesome. Chad, you already know this, but I love you more than groceries. on his new album, Keep 'Em On Their Toes. What does that mean? I talked to you in the pool yesterday. I guess groceries are hard to come by in Georgia.
Well, there's there's COVID. You know what I mean? Like, I love you more than toilet paper.
Yeah,
That's probably where you went.
I mean, obviously, groceries are a necessity for life.
That's right.
And if you have a love more than a necessity for life, that's pretty damn strong. So
I kind of like it. He's a wordsmith.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would make out with him, but I might do it if the lights were down.
Yeah, man. Guy's got
he's got pretty hair.
You've seen those movies where you walk up to the hot chick with her long flowing hair behind, and then you tap her on the shoulder, and turns around. He's like, "Hey."
She might have a little mustache.
Oh shit! Sorry.
I was just looking at your long, beautiful hair from the back. I didn't realize you're a man.
Sorry, Brent Cobb. All right, give me one.
Right.
Wait, I want one song title, and I want to see if I can.
Now, these are going to be some that you've never heard of.
I've never heard of any of these.
Okay.
I've heard the harder stuff. That's it. The Travis Tritt song's not on your album,
No,
right?
that'll be on Travis's.
And that song is called "Better Off Dead."
It's called Better Off Dead. Yeah.
Dude, that's a sick ass
Thanks,
title.
man.
I hope that's the album title.
I mean, it would be cool.
That would be cool.
So I get to pick the songs.
Give me a song title, the first one, and I want to ask Adam just one question about each one before he tells me.
Speed of the South.
Speed of the South, I'm going to guess that it is about the slowdown and how you love where you grew up and were lucky enough to be born in, because you don't like the rigmarole of the jam up lifestyle that you see in a lot of other parts of the country.
Almost.
Damn it.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's really close. I wrote it with my buddy Jason Jones, and Jason is a friend of mine that actually Jason grew up in Brent's hometown and now lives in Tuscaloosa. Married the girl that went to school with
I did not know that.
with my sister-in-law.
First time I ever saw him was in Macon, so that kind of makes sense. But
Yeah.
I didn't know he was from back home.
I think I'm pretty sure they went to the same high school together. But anyway, so we wrote that song together, and the title was initially "The Speed of Sound," and it was it kind of, without giving the song away. It comes from a perspective of a guy that's been playing around for so long that generations. I mean, okay, if I went and played in Auburn or Alabama or UNLV or something like that, you know, as Adam Hood, the 45-year-old guy, there's a huge generation gap between me and my style of music and what's college students these days, where I got started. Okay, so that's kind of the perspective of it. You know, the first lines are, I can't write like William Faulkner. I can't sing like Shelby Lynn. And when you show up talking Southern, brother, they won't let you in. You know, and so that's the gist of it. So yeah, it's exactly what you said, but instead of from like a 9-to-5 perspective, it's from an old musician's perspective.
I love it.
Yeah.
Speed of Sound turns into Speed of the South.
Yeah, because really,
that's cool.
You can tell the character that we wrote this song about is a musician that lives in the Southeast.
Is William Faulkner Captain Kirk? Totally kidding.
You mean Captain Kirk?
Captain Kirk. Okay, this is Speed of the South. It will be on the new album. We have not
No title
named
yet.
the new album.
Right.
I think I'm going to have a say in that too. I'm going to come up with some ideas. Oh, yeah.
All ears on deck.
It would be cool to have an album title that's not a song title.
Okay,
I've never done that before.
I got it. Under the Hood.
Oh yeah.
Well, what about this? About damn time.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That is pretty good.
I like Under the Hood with you, with your butt crack showing just a little bit. Bent over looking in
Well, damn, you doing album art too?
in your
It's
Chevelle.
all together.
Yeah, like fixing a girl's
And I
car
wanna-
with big boobs or something like
Yeah,
that.
and I want an old ghetto blaster sitting there with a
Oh.
mixtape in it.
Hey, if we do this
Great
now,
idea.
if
It's like,
this is
like
the
the
idea,
album cover of Conway at the golf
we got to
course.
bring Brent
Yeah.
Cobb back as the mechanic.
Yeah, that's right.
Smitty. We'll have Smitty on his shirt. And then when you open up the cover art on the inside, you see a picture of him standing there with a wrench, and he's got a little bit of grease on. Like, that would be sick. Under the Hood. That's what I was in my bar. That's where I come up with the idea of sitting under your ass in the bar the other night when you're playing on top of me. I'm under the hood. You don't like it?
I love it.
You
I
could do
actually
it
love
right
it.
there with two bartenders looking up at your ass while you're under the bar.
And then me like hanging out right there.
Speaking of that, did you ever hear stories of Motley Crue on tour where they had the glass floor and they would bring girls underneath during the show? Like they'd
No.
have couches and stuff underneath? Have you heard that story?
Uh-uh.
Look it up one day.
I would
We'll go
assume
to-
that the girls under the stage would probably not have clothes on.
No, they weren't just under there like dancing or nothing. It was like an underground room to where like they go down there and
So like VIP was under the stage, under the glass stage?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think it was the Theater of Pain tour where Tommy Lee had the drum set that turned upside down and had the crane on it that brought him out over the crowd. Could you imagine that back in the day?
No.
Singing "Smoking in the Boys' Room" and Tommy Lee's just beating it like with all of that leverage, all of that weight in his midsection pulling him down to the crowd. Do you know how strong of a belt had to have him reinforced into that seat?
Well, I would imagine
Most uncomfortable set ever.
Ever.
Probably affects your swing too. You know, I mean, you got gravity pulling down on you. It's probably hard to hit a drum like that.
Yeah, really hard.
Those are the days, man.
Oh God, dang it! They just don't do. They're just nothing like it anymore.
No.
Smoking in the boys' room. I don't even think that was that a cover.
Yes,
That was a cover, right?
I believe it was a cover of like a Loggins and Messina song.
Oh shit.
Yeah, really unlikely bunch.
Loggins and Messina sang "Smoking in the boys' room."
I may be wrong about that. I may not be wrong about that though.
All right, This is "Speed of the South." Do you need a guitar for it?
Yeah,
Do you remember that one?
I think so.
You can keep your phone. Oh, you
So,
got
and by the way, the songs I'm throwing out, I have no idea if he knows how to play.
Let's try.
really? Oh,
I mean,
should we have asked
everything's-
him first?
No,
Well, I mean, you don't have to play them.
let's see how far I can get with it. I can't ride like William Faulkner. I can't sing like Shelby Lynn. And when you show up talking Southern, brother, they won't let you in. I'm a rock like a man without a country, like a king without a crown. These kids don't give a damn about how they drove old Dixie down. And I feel like a rock with nowhere to roll, but I've come too far to sell my soul. Everybody moves at the speed of light, and I barely get around, moving at the speed of the South. I never thought I'd be an afterthought, hard as I fought to find my place. And after all this time, it's hard to find the lines on my face. And I feel like a rock with nowhere to roll, but I've come too far to sell my soul. Everybody moves at the speed of light, and I barely get around, moving at the speed of the South. Moving at the speed of the South.
Dude.
Yeah?
Yes, but like when you hit it big, like I don't know what it's called, the bridge. When you what I'm
Yeah.
trying to learn how a song is built.
Yeah, the
but
bridge.
the bridge is so strong in that
Thanks, man.
song. Can you give the audience a definition of, or sing the bridge one more time so they know exactly where I'm talking about? Because
So it'd be-
it was so freaking powerful too. Just do that last verse again where you kind of turned it up a little bit. I freaking loved it.
I never thought I'd be an afterthought, hard as I fought to find my place. And after all this time, it ain't hard to find the lines on my face. And I feel like a rock. That would be the bridge.
God, I love that how it comes down.
Thanks, man.
Lines on my face, so you're starting to age a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like, God dang it, man. That's freaking strong.
Thanks.
I need that song now. I do. I need a work tape of that.
Me too.
That's freaking nice.
I do have a work tape of it, probably. There's a second verse in there. I just couldn't remember the song.
And by the way, that's what I was about to say too. Like, don't feel obligated. Like if you don't remember it, because it all is very fresh, and some of it's old, some of it's new, and some of it's not been.
Fun to see what happens.
That should have been the third one we did today, because that was too good to start with. Because now you got to live up to that shit.
But
you should have.
See,
you have no idea what I've got
this record's going to be good then.
All right, number 2, Ben. Number 2 of 10. We'll cover the first 3 today on this episode of This Life Ain't.
And
For
this is
Everybody.
not the first 3. This is just random.
I'm just
3.
saying
Yeah,
we're random
random
3.
All right, throw me a line.
Throw. Wait, I get the chance.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Throw me a line is a girl at the Floribama talking to a guy. Well, hit me with your best shot kind of deal. Let me see what you got.
Way off.
Okay, well, that's a hard one. Throw me a line, because
Yeah.
I know it ain't some Brad Paisley fishing song.
No, I wrote it with Warren Haynes, in fact. So,
No freaking way.
Yeah,
You know
man.
Warren Haynes?
I did. And I don't know what happened or how it came about, but Dave Cobb called me and said, hey, man, Warren's going to be in town, so-and-so. You want to write with him? And I said, yeah. I told my wife, I'll see you in a day or two. So I wrote at the apartment and wrote with him. And, man, he was the coolest. I mean, it's the same thing. It's, you don't expect him to not be cool, but, like, he was the nicest guy. And, like, I remember we hung out, and he had more stories about David Allan Coe than he had about the Allman Brothers.
Is he not the godfather? Isn't he the founder of Southern Rock, or one of them?
I mean, if you think about it, I would say that's probably a.
I mean, I feel like, to
justifiable
me,
statement.
he and Derek Trucks are kind of like the predecessors and the torch carriers,
I'd say Trucks surely is, yeah.
Trucks is way younger than Warren Haynes.
Yeah. I mean, Warren was in the Allman Brothers, and he was in government. I mean, he's still in Government Mule, and he's a huge asset and a part of the history of Southern rock. But he's still carrying that torch. But man, he's so awesome, and
Dude,
I've done so many shows with Government Mule and stuff in the past too, and like he's still just amazing.
Oh my gosh, that just gave me freaking goosebumps.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Like when you guys start talking about that, here's what I did today, and then I'm gonna let you get back to the song.
Yeah.
What did you think of Danny the other night, Danielle, when she got up and sang "Angel from Montgomery" just off the cuff? I said, "Get up there and sing it, please."
I thought it was awesome.
Wasn't she
sounded great.
amazing?
Yep. And dude, I know it's typical, but like that can go one of two ways. I've seen it go wrong. Very wrong a number of times, and she got up there and just slayed it. I mean, she paid attention. She sang
knew
it
what
in
she
the
was
key it
doing,
in.
too.
Yeah.
To get her to do that is almost impossible, because she's so shy and thinks like nobody wants to hear me sing, and then everybody's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it
So
was
today
beautiful.
when I was driving around, I got to thinking about that deal, and I told Siri to find Susan Tedeschi doing it live. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, I don't know if you can. Danielle's unbelievable, but Susan Tedeschi, god dang it. So when you said Darren Trucks, I think she's like 11 years older than Darren Trucks, ain't she?
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't it supposed to be the, never mind, we'll talk about that another time. So Throw Me a Line is about what, though? About what you and Warren were writing about?
Man, it's kind of the chorus is, when I'm burdened, you can lift it, pull me up in the nick of time. When I'm freezing, keep me warm. When I'm drowning, throw me a line.
Oh, so it's
and every
about
man to me and my brother, let my brother pick me up when I'm down. I'll do the same for you.
So does this have a little gospel to it?
Yeah, I remember this one.
Oh, you're singing it. I mean, you're singing it. I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
I'm just.
I mean, it's a gospel. It's our.
By the way, I have no idea what he remembers and what he doesn't when I'm throwing these songs out there. I'm just looking at my notes in my
I know.
phone.
I like it.
All right. Yeah. So it's a.
This is a good game show. Stump the artist.
Yeah, on his brand new record.
or any song. Can you pick a song in their career that they can't sing again? Like what we were talking about, one of those B-side cuts that nobody ever gave shit about listening to.
That would be fun.
Never heard it at the concert. But out of all the songs George Strait recorded, could you stump him if you just said, okay, he thinks you're going to request the chair, but you request some shit
That's a good game.
Stump the
That's a
band
good
on your
game.
own tunes.
Stump the
Yeah, that would
band.
be fun. Yeah, that would be fun.
All right, put that together, Ben. Let's get a pilot
Yeah.
shot. I want Poison to be the first
Are we doing that
guest.
today?
I want Milli Vanilli to be the first guest.
Oh, I thought you were going to do Adam to the first guest.
No, don't do me yet.
No, we can't. We can't put him on the spot right now.
All right, you want me to play it?
Oh, please. This is Throw Me a Line.
Throw me a line. I don't need too much to keep me going in this world. my sweet woman's love and a friend or two. We all need someone we can lean on to from time to time. You can lean on me and I will lean on you. Well, when I'm burdened, you can't lift it. Just pull me up in the nick of time. And when I'm freezing, you can keep me warm. And when I'm drowning, throw me a line. In this world, ain't too much to hold on to these days. It's easy to get caught up in the fray. Well, we don't have to worry about falling behind if you don't treat life like running a race. Well, 'cause when I'm burdened, you can't lift it. Fill me up in the nick of time. And when I'm freezing, you keep me warm. When I'm drowning, throw me a line. Well, when I'm burdened, you can't lift it. Pull me up in the nick of time. Well, when I'm freezing, keep me warm. And when I'm drowning, throw me a line. Well, when I'm drowning, throw me a line. Well,
I completely forgot about the BGVs on that song.
yeah, Ben was actually part of the boys choir that sang in the little part
and
of that
the boys choir.
Yeah, it was
The boys choir was me, Patrick Cobb, Brent Cobb's dad, Rob Evans, the studio manager and head engineer at Capricorn.
And then that's it, just the three y'all.
Did
And
we
Miranda sang.
We did some Miranda on that too. Like we did something else in Nashville too. Yeah, but like I forgot about that. Like until he started singing, I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I remember the song.
Did it throw you off at all
What?
when he comes in there and throws in that background?
No, we cut that track separately. It threw me off today.
He
No,
did that to Brent Cobb last year on stage. He just walked up and grabbed the mic of the guitarist and started doing that. And Brent looked around like,
Yeah. Brent's
That was a totally different situation.
It's not as
Ben was in a totally
giving as I
different
am.
world.
Yeah.
Totally different world. Hey, you guys know Tom? This is Tom Rashi.
Yeah, man. It's good to see Tom again.
I love Tom. He's one of my buddies.
I appreciate that, Ben.
He was working his magic on Friday night at the fire. Wait till you see some of those pictures. That come out.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
He
That was
didn't
a perfect
he didn't
setting.
take any of you. It was just me. He was taking them.
The real magic was when I took over the camera and Tom put it down that night.
Oh, did you put something good on there?
That was when the magic happened.
So go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go ahead.
Was Friday your birthday?
No, Wednesday's my birthday.
Is it really?
The whole month's my birthday.
Should be,
Adam.
yeah,
The whole
absolutely,
month
of
is my
course.
birthday. When you're a Libra, you just take every day. Like I'm right on the cusp of Libra, so I get like 9 days of October. I think I'm the first day of Libra.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah, October 21st, 1989. I was born. Does that make sense? 1989.
Yes.
Throw Me a Line is badass.
Thanks, man.
Like
Thanks.
that song's written how many years ago?
That song's probably not 3 years old. So it was probably the second year of my deal. So yeah, I mean 3 years. There's no way it's 4 years old. I bet wrote it in 2017.
And what does Brent Cobb hear it in 17, or does he run across it when he's going through your library?
I'm pretty sure he went across. That was one I wanted on the record. That was one that I suggested in the first pile.
Was there any pushback from Brent Cobb?
No, I don't think so. I think as soon as he heard it, I think he was cool. I mean, it was typical, the kind of stuff that you either expect me to record or you want me to record if I didn't. You know, that's my wheelhouse, man. That song right there is my wheelhouse. That's what I know. That's what I know I do best, but I've never done it in its entirety on an album. And so that's kind of the plan for this record. And you've heard the harder stuff. The harder stuff is nothing like that song.
No.
But the harder stuff is musically and sonically, the harder stuff is one slow song And that's it. That's as slow as it gets, and it does it one time.
Well, there's the acoustic song.
But it's not. But that's not a slow song. It's like a blues tune, like a front porch thing.
Yeah.
I guess that the harder. I don't know where you put the harder stuff on an album. Like that's going to be like, do you slow it down after the first 4, or do you leave it for the end? I don't know. The harder stuff is that's a very personal song. Like that's like a really personal song of what you even fought sobriety as far as like, do I want to do it? Do I want to do it the rest of my life? Like and we're going to get into that song more, but that is a very personal song. And I still don't know how sobriety works in a atmosphere like you faced on Saturday night. Like that is a tough decision. So that's a very personal song. That's a road. That's like a long ride or long road to get there. Right. So I want to get to that, but I think that people are going to be, they're going to be wowed by that song, The Harder Stuff. Like that song is sick, but those two right there, those are badass. I mean, the Speed of the South is killer.
Thanks.
I don't know. I might have to listen to all 10 of them, and then I'll give Brent my input on the order they should go.
I think so. Yeah, sequencing is really important.
Hey Ben, let's not tell Brent Cobb I'm going to do that. I'll just send him a note one day.
Yeah. Here's my sequence.
Hey, I'll text him.
Probably I'll do it this way.
Brent, here's what I think you ought to do for the new Hood song. CB. You mean CBD? No. CB.
Chad Belding,
Brent.
Esquire.
So we have to wait for Ben to get back. He went somewhere. Is this when you walked into the room with Travis Tritt? You said you weren't intimidated. Mm-hmm. What about Haynes? Was there a little bit, being from that part of the country, even though Travis is from Georgia too, he's a Southern boy, was there a little bit of holy shit, look who I'm with?
Yeah, Haynes was probably more like that because of the fact that, like, you know, it's different with him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty studied on government mule stuff. I'm pretty studied on, but that's when you were talking about guitar players and stuff, like that's a pretty legendary guitar player, and that guy works really hard. I mean, he's in like 20 bands. So, yeah, I mean, it was granted, you know, I do get nervous, but I understand I've got a job to do. I just, you know, in situations like that, in every situation, I just want to be prepared. You know what I mean?
Who's the most you've been smoked by? Who's the one that you just were like, did you get shaken up with Miranda? Any of them like shake you up at all?
No, it took a long time to get songs written with Miranda. I mean, we tried, but I mean, it took 8 years to get her to cut a song. You know?
Really?
Yeah. Let's see.
Is she a nice person?
She's a great person.
Isn't she awesome?
She's awesome.
She's my favorite.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm being for real when I say this. Like, she's my Dolly Parton. Like, I don't mean to sound like an ass, but
she would not take it like that.
There's not many people. There's not many. God dang it! I don't even know if I should say that. I don't know if there's a lot of females that I enjoy listening to, song to song to song, album. Miranda, I can listen to everything she does.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? Like, or is that mean to say?
No, I think that's very fair to say.
I think it's fair, and I also think that like it's and it totally should not be, because it should be about talent and a God's gift to bring stuff to people. But like for females, and this has been going on for a long time, even back when they were like, oh, the females are the tomato in the salad bullshit or whatever they did. You know, like
tomato in the salad.
Yeah, like I mean, like it's been this bullshit for a long time about females, but it's really hard for them to break through and establish a foundation of a career like Miranda has. And Miranda just had another number one recently.
Tin Man.
No, like Bluebird.
Oh,
like
Bluebird,
recently,
that's
the latest one. But I mean, how many is that, Adam? That's not as many as you would think. What is it? 3, 4, 5, 6. It's
White
way
Liar
less.
was the first one, and so she had White Liar was the first one. The House That Built Me was the second one, and then.
Well, let me ask my assistant.
Yeah, we can be friends. I think that was
Ask
the number
Siri.
one.
I got an assistant named. Hey Siri, how many?
Yeah, but not
number
many.
ones has Miranda Lambert had? I have an assistant too, Chad. You're not as special as everybody else.
Google.
One moment.
Well, see, she answers me.
There are an estimated 98,276
She's-
females with a given name.
Good
Miranda
job.
in the U.S. today. There are an estimated 1,877 males with a given name. Lambert in the U.S. today. There are an estimated 831,101 males with a given name.
First number one in 6 years. I would have never guessed that.
Jen, your assistant's way better than mine. by the way. Let's just throw that out there to the
You just
world.
called Jen. I'm Chad. Jen's the assistant.
Jen is your assistant. I said, Jen, your assistant is way better than my assistant. I didn't call you Jen.
Huh?
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 My assistant is Siri, and she's not as good as yours.
Well, I guess I'm not going to find it. Miranda Lambert has 5 number 1 hits,
Yeah. So that's not that many.
15 top 10s,
Yeah.
38 hit songs they consider hits. I would have argued that until I was blue in the face when you said that.
You would think she had
15, 20.
15 to 20
Maybe-
number ones.
Yeah, Kenny Chesney's got. I think Kenny just hit his 31st or 32nd. That's a lot.
Yeah. And
Kenny Chesney kills it in a weird way.
yeah.
A weird way that dude has done it. Like, that dude has completely done it his way.
Yeah.
He's badass.
Well, that's we were talking about earlier. The only time I've ever been to Lake Tahoe, I've never been here to Reno, but the only time I've been to Lake Tahoe was just I was out with Miranda, but I was riding, and it was when she was on Chesney's tour. It was her and Lady Antebellum. And,
I told you I was at
yeah,
that
you
show.
were there, and I mean that's the first time I've ever seen him live. It was pretty awesome. I mean, the guy put on a great show.
He tears up Tahoe
Yeah.
every year. He's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's one of those things where, when you can see somebody live and go, oh, okay, I get it. That's because I'm not a beachy guy. You know what I mean? And the whole beach vibe, I always kind of was under the school of leave that up to Buffett. But
One time up there 2-3 years ago, he called out Uncle Cracker. And the dude couldn't even talk. Like, I don't think maybe he did, and he just had a little too much fun on the bus because he was.
I believe it.
And then a year later, I was up there, and he brought out freaking the Red Rocker to do "I Can't Drive 55."
Yeah.
And Sammy comes out, and he must have because Sammy's got a Cabo Wabo in Harvey's and Harvey's,
okay.
so he's got a tequila bar up there, and dude, he must have been on. I don't know how much sauce Sammy gets on when he's on the sauce, but he was lit, dude. But he wasn't lit to the point to where he can. I'm talking like
Just lit it like a Christmas tree.
one of the
Still
most.
performing.
In my opinion, I think he's one of the most. He got like a weird rap because he was always compared to who? David Lee Roth.
Yeah,
It was
it's the
always
Van Hagar
Hagar
thing, yeah.
Like so. I'm a David Lee Roth guy.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes Sammy Hagar out of most people's equation as a real, true rock talent. And he is so underrated as a frontman and as a vocalist. Like, dude, he has so much good shit out there. Like, and I discovered that later in life too. When somebody's like, you need to really listen to Hagar's library. He is badass, dude. And I just like him as a person. I just think he's got that vibe, like that.
just laid back, yeah.
Just laid
Just
back.
flip-flops
and
kind of
just
guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, third one of the day. These are not in order. Ben wants me to make sure these is not the order of the album.
That's the disclaimer.
Because we have no idea what the order is. And I have no idea if Adam even knows how to play
I just
these
told
songs.
Adam when you were going to the bathroom or whatever you were doing for the 11th time.
Hey, look. Hey,
Nobody's
cheerleader
ever
beers
opened,
go
can I
straight
put a
through.
disclaimer?
nobody's ever opened my studio door this much in a podcast. Ben just comes and goes as he pleases. Hey, I'll be right back. No problem, dude.
I will tell you this: my grandpa, who has been my
Inspiration.
dude. Yeah, like he's 86 now, and he's in a nursing home, and like he's not doing real good. But I say this all the time to my mom. I was like, I inherited his bladder, and so yes, I have to go a lot. So
Okay.
I apologize.
This is not when you were going to the bathroom. Adam and I agreed that I am going to get the names of the songs after I hear them all on these podcasts, and I'm going to send Brent Cobb a quick little note and just text him and say, "Hey,
Are you
here's
going to sync this record?
I'm going to say here's the order of it, and please send me a finished copy when you're done." And I'm just going to say non-negotiable at the end. Non-negotiable.
This is my final.
I'm good with that.
This is my final. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be a part of this album.
And the fun thing is like you are maybe or maybe not actually getting to hear the songs. Whether or not he remembers them and is familiar with enough.
He's done good
with
on
them.
the first two.
Yeah, he's done great.
What's the
on
third
first.
one? I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna get this one right. 2 out of 3. That's still over 600.
So, can I give you a choice, Adam, or can I give you a choice, Chad?
Why would you do that? Why are you?
Because I'm kind of torn between two.
supposed to be decisive. You're supposed to be a decisive.
I know
man.
that, but but they're so good, and we're only 2 deep, and we got 8 more, and we're only doing 3 today, right?
We can do 4 if you want. I don't
Okay.
care.
All right.
I just want to have as many episodes with Adam. This is what's so shitty about podcasting over Zoom. How much better do you feel right now on this podcast than we did on the computer?
so much
This
fun.
is way more
Is
conversational.
it not more fun and like sip on a beer, talk smack, and like it's so much. COVID screwed up. This life ain't for everybody. We tried our best to keep it rocking, but we had such a good vibe with in studio guests before, and now look at this. We built this studio, we opened it, and COVID hits. Is this beautiful or what?
This is great. I mean, it really makes the vibe what you can hear that it is.
And it sounds cool, right?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Sounds good.
I mean, Zoom is fine, and I'm okay with it. It's as far as the alternative goes, if that's what I got to deal with, I can deal with that.
I could deal with it too.
This is way better.
It's just so much better. Like that's why Rogan doesn't do anything. He did a few over Zoom.
Is that right?
Yeah, you've seen his new studio he just built in Austin, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I haven't watched any of the new stuff.
Yeah, I've never watched one. I just see some of the stuff he posts once in a while. I did that before we got hacked on Instagram. I don't even follow him anymore now.
It's his fault.
His fault. Okay, what's the third one we're going?
Don't do it.
Ooh.
Don't do it is going to be you're in a fight again with a woman and you're telling her don't walk away, don't do this, don't end this.
No.
Damn it.
Your guesses are great,
This is
though,
such
man.
a fun game
It really
for
is
me,
a fun
because
game.
I have no idea really
That's
either.
a good
but
game
it's-
too.
Don't do it is probably the most is a snuck in line in the middle of the first verse. Like if we called the song "Don't Do It" and like we don't even repeat it, but it's like, lady, you know I love your lovin'. And so on and so forth. So don't do it. Don't leave me. But like, don't leave me. You kind of said that, but
you're saying don't
like
leave me with
sexier version.
Like
of
don't leave me with blue balls?
Yeah. I need you.
well,
Need it.
Jake, cut that
This
part
is
out.
not. This is not a new song either, though, right?
This is like the third song I wrote with Brent. So we've had this song around for a long time, and I never cut it because I never had the nerve to cut it. We did it. We demoed it. Like we did like a demo of it when Brent and I wrote it. And it's
your
in
demo
Carnival's
was
catalog.
great.
Yeah.
Brent's work tape was not.
Why? Oh, never mind. I know why. I think I know why.
Well, it just wasn't sellable.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go on the song, I'm not trying to change the subject.
No, you're fine.
I just got this email. Look at that. That's a back cover of a magazine coming out in the culinary world. That's our new brand.
Oh wow! Yes,
Tom designed that. Is that not beautiful?
Tom is a man, dude.
Tom is
Look
so
at that.
good.
No, show Adam that print
see
ad.
it.
That's what I want to do for Adam. We need to do some of your design for your new press release for your new what do you call that, media kit for the album or some of the
Yeah,
stuff
it's
you
like
put
an
together?
electronic press, like an
Yeah,
EPK.
EPK.
You should let Tom build it.
That sounds great to me.
I
mean,
will let Tom do anything he wants
Yeah,
to.
Well, then
your
I-
work is great.
Until I see a bill,
Well, I'm saying
and then I
is-
realize
then
that he's so good
well,
that we can't afford
since
it.
Adam always does me favors and plays my gigs, then I'll just comp that.
Look at there.
And we could
Dang.
build out a really you still get the other stuff.
Because for one, like, what do I have to offer Tom? Like, oh, Tom, come snow skiing in North Carolina
No,
and
Tom,
break a leg on some ice.
You don't want to snow ski with Tom. You don't
Why
want
is Tom the man?
Oh, dude, he's the man.
And if
he
you
a snow
think
ski
he's the man, you ought to see his wife ski.
Oh wow, really?
She's an Olympic alternate for giant slalom.
There's two things I've learned
Flies.
about hanging out with Chad's guys out here is like, don't try and be a skier around Tom.
Or a rock climber around Tyson. Or what were you saying?
Whoa! That just scratches the surface for Tyson. Don't throw
Cornhole?
cornhole,
Horseshoes.
horseshoes. What were we throwing in Arkansas at duck camp last year? The washers. Yeah, don't do anything that has to do with throwing anything with Tyson.
Or against my 9-year-old nephew.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
smoking everybody.
Yeah, you got to watch your confidence level about these guys because they're sleepers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially with the cornhole.
Yeah, he's good. He's probably the most consistent player we have on our team here. But Chase at 9 years old, holy smoke. He hangs with Tyson most time.
Yeah.
I just blows my mind. I want to punch, I want to shake him. I'm like, you little arrogant son. I put him in a garbage can and wheel it down the road a little bit.
Put him in his place. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because before
don't-
too long he's going to be too big to do that.
So don't do it.
Yeah.
Is it kind of let me second guess, is like a slight on Nike because of Colin Kaepernick?
No. Maybe.
Oh, shit.
Nope. Let's see. on it. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Lady, you know I love your loving. I'm addicted to you kissing and hugging. And if you ever... I can't remember the chords to it, man. The chords are always weird.
And that's fine. If you can't, you can't. There's something you can do.
To you kissing and hugging. And if you ever left me, I would be a mess to reckon with. So don't do it. It ain't that I can't find me a heartbreak. I'm a man, but a junkie for the shape of your jeans. And if I saw you walking away, the light in my day would go dark. I got my pride, I know you know it. Why treat me like a child, make me cry and have to show it? Well, if love is for fools, I'm a fool of a man. You hold on my cool and the palm of your hand. Lady, you know I need you needing me to be needed for the feel of your pleasing. Me in the morning, the evening, anytime's good. Whenever you could squeeze me into my kind of heaven. I'm no angel, but the devil sure would come out in me. And if I saw you flying away, the light in my day would go dim. I got my pride, I know you know it. Why treat me like a child, make me cry and have to show it? Well, if love is for fools, I'm a fool of a man. You hold on my cool in the palm of your hand.
I freaking love that too, but I think I'm right. I think it's about a guy that doesn't want his woman leaving, but I guess I was wrong in the sense that they didn't get in a fight.
That's right.
He's just kind of saying,
Don't leave me.
I never want you to leave me.
Don't do it.
Yeah, it is.
Don't do it.
It is saying that. But
I
it's
want
more
to come in
sexy
on.
time.
I want to come in on Ben's part and just gonna be like, "Don't do it!
I love that's my favorite part of the song, and that's the hook.
Be part of the boys' choir.
Don't do it! Don't you dare do it!" Man,
And honestly, this is a song that we had talked about for the past 6 months before we even got into the record about like trying to release this song from a demo.
Yeah.
That was made years ago.
I mean, it was made before the Shape of Things. Like this record, like we thought
And that
about
was what, 2011?
2011. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Shape of Things was 2011.
And this song was recorded and demoed before that. And we've been talking like before we got into this record about converting the demo of the song into a master to release as a single to throw out there this year. And then all the COVID shit hit. And
they just couldn't make it happen.
yeah,
So
and
we'll
so we
just
ended,
record it.
and just re-recorded it and put it on the record. And he wrote you. Who'd you write that with?
I wrote with Brent.
Yeah. So
What does Charlie Starr do on this on that song? Is he playing this? Is there a steel on that?
God, Lord.
No steel on it, but he played. I think he played an Esquire a lot, an old like a Fender Esquire. That was one of his main ones.
which is a signature sound.
Yeah, and then he played his slide was an old Gibson.
Les Paul Jr.?
Yeah, a Junior, yeah, because it was a one pickup. And then he played pedal steel, and he played an old mandolin on a song or two.
Shout out to Shane Bridges for dropping that mandolin off of the studio.
How
by
old
the
was
way,
that mandolin?
1929.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So yeah, and I was down there 3 weeks ago. It was still in the control room.
How hard is it to
kidding me.
do what Charlie Starr does for Blackberry? I understand that there are guitarists out there that can sing vocals like that, but he's not a normal guitarist. He's ripping during the show.
Oh,
He's
man.
almost like a lead guitarist, lead vocalist. he's got the rhythm. I get that he's got that covered, but when I talked to him on the podcast, he's like, not that big of a deal. And I'm like, man, that looks hard to expend that. Not just the energy, not just remembering the songs, and now all the chords, and then ripping and the solos and everything.
Right.
Is it more difficult than he makes it sound to do what he does?
For sure it is. For sure it is. I mean, I can watch his Instagram videos. You know, you'll see him every once in a while just like do just bedroom picking and stuff like that. And that guy is as comparable a bluegrass player as he is a blues player, as he is a acoustic player, electric player. I mean, the guy played pedal steel. I didn't even know he played pedal steel, and he did a spectacular job at it. I mean, I don't know if he's a perfectionist. I don't know as far as his personality goes. He's a great guy to hang out with. Like I said, we grew up. I don't know if I've told you.
Told me that.
Yeah, so we grew up 20 minutes from each other.
Like
same
high
age.
schools, you guys as high schools played each other.
Yeah, Valley High School was 5A. We were 6A.
You were a punter and Charlie was an offensive lineman?
I think so, pretty much. Yeah,
Charlie was an offensive lineman.
You play soccer too?
No, I didn't.
Soccer? We're talking about football.
What punter never played soccer?
Huh? That's a good point.
That's true.
That's a good point.
No, I did not punt.
You're welcome.
Nor play
He wasn't
soccer.
a punter. That was a joke.
Charlie was not a lineman.
Charlie was not a lineman. Charlie weighs $128, soaking wet and wearing boots, dude.
For sure.
And 40 pounds of that's hair.
All right, we're going to be back with part 2 of the new Adam Hood record. We might even have a name for you. I'm probably going to be the one that's going to ask. I'm going to be asked to name it and put these songs in synchronization order, chronological order. I will take on that challenge. Adam Hood's music is absolutely on a different level. I know this new album is going to wow us all. I can't wait to hear it. I have not heard it. These 3 songs, and when he did harder stuff for us before, and he did the harder stuff at my birthday party the other night. Absolutely amazing so far. I'm excited for it. This has been another episode brought to you by Jack Daniels, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Always enjoy it responsibly. Never allow underage drinking. Thank you, Jack Daniels, for always believing in us. Thank you, Ben and Adam, for making the trek out here and making my 32nd birthday so
30 seconds.
so memorable.
21, baby.
Hey, those new guitar picks are nice, huh?
Yeah, I love them. I love them. They feel great. I'm going to leave these right
Can
here.
we give a shout out to the company that made them?
Yeah, go ahead. You know it because I lined it up for you.
And I'm asking you because you did line it
You
up.
tell me.
Well, let me.
You tell me.
I don't. Well, is it on the pick?
Yep, right on the bottom.
True something. Tone.
Nope.
I can't read that.
Come on.
I don't have glasses on.
Huh?
We're like a bunch of senior citizens.
I think it says in tune.
It's in tune.
That's what it is. In tune.
Go.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
They're
In
phenomenal.
tune guitar picks are awesome.
They look spectacular too.
Big shout out. We've done Brent. Did Brent get his?
Brent's got his.
I got a bone to pick with him. We're calling him when we get out here.
Let's
We are
do
not
it.
going to quit calling him until he answers.
Oh, we need to call him.
Freaking Pony Express, Morse code using son of a bitch. God,
Flip phone. Like
he
a
needs to
razor.
write a song about being on the Pony Express.
We might have to send his ass a telegram, but we'll get a hold of him tonight.
Still being on. Adam, you pick. No, Ben, you pick it. What Adam Hood song are we going to go out of the podcast with?
Are we going in person or are we going track?
No, we got. We could if he wants to do it. That's a good idea. Go live. This is going to be a live version of an Adam Hood tune picked by Ben Ratliff.
Well, let's do the new Charlie Argo cut of Tennessee Will.
Wait a minute. You please record this. This song just brings tears to my. God, just almost.
Keep it rolling, Tommy.
Will you record this, please?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah, I can do that too.
On your phone so I can use it. Just the first line of this song absolutely just puts me into a spot where I love life.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Thanks,
this song is absolutely amazing.
Hey, thanks for your hospitality this week. We've had a great
You're
time.
welcome
dude.
anytime.
This has been a lot of fun.
You're
Thank
welcome anytime. I'm sorry that Ben messed up the Coyote.
Man.
God dang.
Whoa. He was not even in the same truck with me. He was on
know.
a different property.
You still messed it up somehow.
I know. Ben
Somehow.
got in the good truck and took all the whatever.
I'm telling you, there's a talent, dude. When it gets cold, y'all come back again.
Okay.
That was Southern. Y'all come back again. You
come on
reckon
back
go up
again.
over here yonder? Haven't been there in a minute.
And by the way, when we do, it'll be a minute.
It's been a minute.
I said a lot of them
Yawn
right
holler.
there real quick. You didn't bring your truck with you, did you?
I reckon.
All right, Tennessee Will. I'm going to thank y'all so much for supporting the partners and sponsors that support us. Please tell your friends and family to subscribe to the podcast. This one, The Foul Life, and our brand new one, Where the Payment Ends. We'll be back at you with another episode of This Life Ain't For Everybody. Here is Mr. Adam Hood with the unbelievable song just cut by the awesome Charlie Argo. This is Tennessee Will.
Blind man's on an old upright piano.
lady in the red on a banjoline, playing songs like old Susanna, and getting slower with the jam. I'll catch a ride on a steamboat, baby. I'll make it home with time to kill. The Mississippi River won't carry me to you, but I know that the Tennessee will. Well, I never did believe that Memphis really ever was the end of the line. So I'm headed back to Alabama, where my heart's been all the time. Ooh, and I know it should be easy, but it's hard to say goodbye. Oh, but still I'll catch a ride on a steamboat, baby. I'll make it home with time to kill. The Mississippi River won't carry me to ya, but I know the Tennessee way. Ooh, and I know it should be easy, but it's hard to say goodbye. Oh, still I'll catch a ride on a steamboat, baby. I'll make it home with time to kill. The Mississippi River won't care.